Interest shares up 4.5%. T-Doc shares up 2.1. Rocket shares are back to break even. And then what else do I have? I have net shares. They're break even as well. How's net looking today? Pulling back a little bit.
It's all on some sport though.
Yeah,
Not bad.
not too bad. I want to add on anyway, so if it pulls back to like $60, I won't mind. That's the good thing about shares is you can afford pullbacks. Options you can't.
Yeah.
You get murdered on options. Hey Josh, what's going on, man?
NLS going for that breakout, CB.
Who was it? I think it was Kiff. Kiff, were you the one calling out
KZIA.
FSLY all day? FSLY is not doing too bad.
No, we didn't miss anything, man. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is just a breakout candle here.
We were talking about all of these data center stocks, FSLY, NET, D-Dog. They all look really good. FSLY would be more of the lotto play. D-Dog is also downtrending. NET is the one that's in an uptrend. But problem with NET is, the scary thing if you're in options, this could be a rising wedge bear div. But like I said, rising wedges lately have not been playing out because the market is very bullish. Yeah, I'm gonna give gold Pluto probably until the end of November. If it doesn't start bouncing by the end of November, I'm probably just gonna cut my loss. Hey Agars, Tesla's insane. Sold my shares that I bought yesterday. Nice, man. Yeah, we called out some lottos today on Tesla that were extremely good trades. I can go over them real quickly for you guys. The one that we called out last week, I called it out on stream and in Discord. The one before the announcement, we called out the 450. Jesus Christ, the 450s, dude. They're worth so much right now. We called out the 450s at 75 cents. They're currently at $42. Topped out at $45. That is the biggest call ever made in the Discord by far. That is a 6,000% gain. The next lotto that we called out today was the 530s. November 27th, so next Friday. All those at $3. They ran to $10.55. So about almost a 400% gain on those. Then we called out the 565s. For next Friday at $3, they ran to $5.70. For a roll-up, we called out the 510s at $5. They're currently at $6. So every Tesla Lotto is moving right now. Hey Emiliano, appreciate that, man. We'll see you around, dude. We'll see you in Discord when you join. Giggity said, is this going to 500? It could very well. If it stays above 475, there's no reason it should stop. 475 is the biggest resistance it has. So much for S&P stability. Well, it's not technically in the S&P yet. You have to wait until December 20th or something. It's like late December. You have to start trading options. Yeah, well, there's pros and cons, man. Like we were just saying earlier. I don't know if I was on stream when I said that, but you can't afford pullbacks in options for the most part. Like on net, I'm taking shares on net. It looks a little bearish. It could pull back. If I was in options here, I would get murdered. But if this pulls back on shares, I'm okay to buy this around like $58, $60. That doesn't bother me. But on options, that size of a pullback would murder you, especially if you're trading like a big delta. You're losing $50 per $1 move. We're up 40% on our rocket sell side. If you guys took that diagonal, that's all that matters right now is our sell side. Buy side does not matter currently. Sell side is paying for the buy side. Couple of penny stocks that were called out today. D&K. I tried to trade this one at the open. I missed it due to Tasty asking me for my password. But it got called out around, where's the open? Around 350, ran to $5. We called out KZIA, I think is KZIA. Yeah, this one right here. This was the secondary pump. Did very well. I think it got halted. Yeah,
Hey,
got
Deja,
halted.
Tesla new high day.
Is it nice, dude? Yeah, the 450s, man. I'm sick about those. They're at $45. Anybody in here holding any of those lottos that we called out? The 510s, the 530s, the 565s, the 450s? Anybody still holding any of those trades?
I mean, what's my name?
Which ones are you in, Johnny?
I'm in a couple actually.
Your name's Johnny Dip.
I'm selling tomorrow regardless, but I want to play a little bit more of the IV because I want to make at least 5K just so I can exercise these. Have me a little good little 100 shares of Tesla and call it a fucking year.
The problem is when you exercise them, you give up your profit on your contracts.
I mean,
What do you have? You have 500 strikes?
I mean, how can you necessarily give up your profits if you're buying the 100 shares? So you're gonna buy 100 shares.
Well, I mean, what's your
that
strike?
price. Oh, 500.
Yeah, so so my point is the money that you have right now,
I got you. I know exactly.
yeah, like in between, you know what I mean? Like in between where you bought them to 500, you're giving up that profit.
Exactly. So this was my strategy. So my strategy was to buy like 6 contracts real quick, and I was gonna sell 5 of them, get that profit real quick. So it's gonna give me like 4 to 5K, and then I'm gonna keep that last one until the end of the day. I mean, until the
Oh,
end
I
of
see
the
what you're
week.
saying. You're only exercising one of them. You're selling the other ones. I
Exactly.
got you. Yeah, that's smart. Like that.
Just so I could have 100 shares because like I remember back then in the split I had 20 shares of Tesla that it cost me 10,000. So it's like at this point it's way a better bargain if I'm gonna pay 5,000 to have 100 shares instead of having 20. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Especially at the strike price of 500. Like at this time, hold those bad boys forever, and yeah, man, we'll be meeting in Vegas.
All I heard is Vegas.
That's all you care about. You're lagging, by the way, Johnny. You're in a bad.
Oh
Johnny's
my
time
God.
traveling to
Time
Vegas.
traveling.
So I just check this out. I have never done this before, but I decided to try it out. I did an iron condor on SPX, and um, I had it. It was like an iron condor, but with the middle price was sort of strangled, if that makes sense.
Like,
You're still time traveling, Johnny.
Can you hear me now?
I think you're good.
Johnny,
hear me now?
what's the future like, buddy? Tell us, give it to us real raw.
Yeah, what
What
is
runs tomorrow?
what is
I
Tesla's
mean,
price?
I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I mean, you guys could go to the Tesla gurus and ask Tasha. What's her name? Tasha. Shit, she's one of the ARK investors, and her price target for Tesla is like 4,000. So it's like right now this is nothing but noise.
No, I thought it was 10,000.
Something
Is that
crazy like that.
pre or post split?
I
That
think
that
she
that,
like
that
busted
was
it
that
out.
was it was pre and post split because she kept the same price target
Oh god.
after the split.
Yeah.
I seen the interview and she was what she
You're time traveling again.
was talking about. Her main thing that she was talking about, even this was before the split. So you guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Tasha's main thing was that Tesla's automation, like the whole automation taxi thing, is gonna drive revenue like crazy if it expands throughout the whole entire world. And not only that, she also used to explain on how like Tesla's not only an automobile, is a lot more than people expected. And then I remember I used to tell Deja that like if Tesla really wanted to, it could make any product it wants and just have a Tesla name and it will be bought.
That's true. They
As
made
you
tequila. It's sold.
And a flamethrower.
And a flamethrower. Yeah. What were you saying, C's?
So
Exactly. The moment I seen that,
Oh, he's still time traveling.
the moment I seen that, I told everybody, long Tesla.
All right, go ahead, C's.
okay, so I did that. It's like an iron condor, but it's kind of modified because there's no space in between. Like I strangled the price where it's 3605, 3610 on the calls, and then 3600 and 3610 on the puts. Does that make sense?
Let me build this and look at it. 36, 3010. Which one you're selling the 30 or the 610?
Yeah, bought 3600 puts, sold the 3610 put, bought the 3605 call. Excuse me, sold the 3605 call, bought the 3615. I collected $9 credit on that. And there was a lot of premium on the call. So right now when SPX dipped below 3600, the 3605, 3615 call, that spread, it's a credit spread if you separate the put side on the condor, iron condor, went down to like 50-cent difference between the 3605 and the 3615. And we're at the end of the day, so there's hardly any premium left on it. I
You're
bought them.
selling your two strikes that you're selling are in the middle, the ones you're buying on the outside, but the two that you're selling are staggered. One is
Yeah,
call, one is put.
yeah. And right now when it dipped, it did that mini bulldog on the 5-minute right now when it dipped, and the calls went, the price difference was like at 50 to 60 cents. I bought that back, but I had collected probably about $6 in credit on it. And now that it shot back up over 3600, now the puts that I have left, 3600, 3610, are losing value. Anyways, I'm up like 300% on the whole thing.
But this is risky because you're selling in the money.
But it's SPX, so I don't have to worry about getting assigned.
Yeah, you're just cash.
So if this can rip in the next 45 minutes and drain as much value out of those puts, I can make even more money if that makes sense.
So it's a modified butterfly.
Well, no, not really. It's an
Iron
condor.
condor. Yeah, butterfly would be the same side.
Yeah, it's the top of my. I was just thinking like if it's gonna hang around here, I want to collect premium on it. But when I saw the price difference in those calls are 10 strikes wide, and it went down to 50 cents.
I
was
see
like,
what
I'm
it
gonna
is.
buy this
It's
back.
just a very tight iron condor.
Yeah, yeah.
There's just
There's
there's
no
no distance between your cells. They're just touching each other.
yeah, exactly.
Just put a position in my channel, guys.
Yeah, it's just a super tight iron condor. Yeah. Which one are you selling again? You're selling the 3610. Buying the
3600,
and you're
yeah.
selling the 3605. So you're actually selling. I see what you're doing. You're they're mismatched. Like
Yeah,
your call
yeah.
side that you're selling is higher than your put side that you're selling. So you're putting both of your sell sides in the money on purpose to get the highest credit.
Yeah. And if it hangs around there, I can just once the premium is drained off of it, like right now, when I close the call side, I closed it when it was below 3600, so there wasn't that much credit left on him.
How
The
the fuck
difference
does that
about
work? You're collecting an $8 credit, but your max loss is $1.70.
because look at the difference between the strikes. The puts is 10 strikes wide. The calls are 10 strikes wide.
I see what you're saying. So you
So
collect your max loss is $10. You're collecting $8. So your max profit is, or sorry, your max loss is 10 minus 8.
yeah, but if that premium drains and it hangs around those prices towards the end of the day, because they're today's expiration, the less that credit goes down, the more I get to keep for what I collected.
And you could just let this thing expire and be cash settled.
Yep.
The only risk of something like this, because you would only take this like towards the end of the day. What would you take it at? Like,
Oh, at noon.
yeah. So you would take it past lunchtime basically, and you're betting on it staying within the expected move. If it leaves the
Yeah.
expected move, you're getting murdered.
Yeah. Well, I'd lose the
Well, actually, you're not getting
$2
murdered because the max loss isn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny is it says your max profits. So why does it say your max profit is 350 when you collected 850? You just let it. If you just let it expire, you'll keep the credit for 850.
Because depending on, well,
You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
know.
Your max profit
Yeah,
should be your credit received because that it's a credit. You just keep the credit.
that's a good question. I don't know. I've never done this before. I was just messing
Oh
with it
no no no
today, and
no! So you will not keep that credit because you're staggering your sell sides. So your sell sides, it's impossible for both of them to expire worthless.
oh, because they're overlapped.
Yeah, they're overlapping. So you will not keep that full credit. It's impossible to keep the full credit because they cannot expire. They can't both be worthless.
Well, yeah, if I let them expire, but I close one side, so if we can shoot up in the next 40 minutes, I'll get to keep more of the put side. I closed the call side already.
How's Tesla
I
doing?
I don't even know what you would call this. I don't think
It's
it
just
has
a
a name.
super tight iron condor, but it's like an overlapping iron condor.
I just took the Snapchat position, Deja.
Nice. Yeah, I'm already in.
Zoom's at 420.
Nice. I called out those 430s for Friday. If you guys are ballsy enough, it's an expensive lotto though. Okay, so sorry. What I was trying to go over for stream, guys, is this is why I called out the 565s, or was this the 530 trade? Think I think this was the 565 trade. Um, was you had a falling wedge on the one, or sorry, like a bull flag on the 1 minute. You started reclaiming it, and then we called out that trade right around here. And you just basically went sideways and then popped up, and we called out that sell around $7. So you bought them for what was it, $3? Sold them for 7.
Yo, when you guys pick shit for like December or whatever, how much will that usually bleed out before it starts turning your way?
I don't do long-term stuff very often, so I can't give you a really good example, but they do bleed out. If like within the first like I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, if it doesn't start moving your direction, you're going to be down like 30 to 40%.
Yeah, the Palantir stuff I have for December is down like
What?
20% already.
Yep. Yeah, they will do that, and that's why I like diagonals. So like take the Snapchat trade for example. The diagonal on Snapchat, if it and Rocket, I'm doing it on Rocket too. I bought a very far out call, but I'm selling a closer call. So if it goes sideways or down in the meantime, I'm theta positive, so I'm collecting money. I'm being paid to hold the long-term calls. The downside is if it just goes straight up, you'd make more money on the naked ones than you would on the diagonal. But from what I've seen since I've been trading the diagonals, when Caesar started talking about them with Neo, there's almost no reason not to do the diagonals if you're doing long-term stuff. The benefits far outweigh the downside.
Keep collecting that credit.
Those 530s that we called out this morning at $3, they're at 11. Disgusting. 565s are at almost $6. Tesla is on fire.
If it really tanks on a diagonal, you'll still make money, right?
No, if it really tanks, you'll lose because
You won't lose as much.
yeah, you won't lose as much, but you'll still lose. So you're losing in the short term. So if it really tanks, the delta on your far out call, it outweighs the delta on your one that you sold. So you're gonna lose money. But don't look at that loss. So like right now on the Rocket trade, I'm technically losing money on the trade because my January or my March call is red 10%, but my December one that I'm selling is up 40%. So on the trade, I'm down, like, I don't know, like somewhere between $20 and $50 a contract. But I don't care about that because I'm going to be selling premium on that trade all the way until March. You know what I mean? So I don't look at that loss until it gets to the point where I can't sell premium anymore. So the gold trade is a good example on this is where diagonals hurt you. So we took a trade on gold, a diagonal trade, and it instantly fucking shit the bed and it nuked. When it does that, you can't sell anymore because it's literally impossible to sell over your buy side because it's so far in the money that you make like $10 if you sell that contract. So if it's really far away from your buy side, you can't sell, and it makes it impossible to sell, so you're just holding naked. So the gold trade, I collected, what did we collect? Like a little over $100. I think it was like a 190 a contract on our sell side, but I'm down 70%, which is close to $400 a contract on the ones that we bought. And even though they're in January, I can't sell contracts above them because they're 185s. If I tried to sell contracts above it, like, let me see. Let's go to December. If I try to sell the 186s, I'm getting 56 cents in credit. It's not even worth my time. So if it gets really far away from your buy side and you can't sell, your trade's dead in the water. Until it recovers. If gold starts to recover to, like, let's say 180, then I'll be able to sell above 185s again. But in the meantime, that trade's dead in the water.
So what's the max profit? I'm trying to.
You can't determine the max profit on a diagonal because so you can determine it if you don't roll your sell side, but diagonals are designed to roll the sell side. So you can't really determine the max profit. But what's the actual way to do it, Caesar? It's the difference between your strike prices, minus what do you subtract? You subtract the 1 sec. Let me build one in my Tasty, and I'll tell you.
What do you want to know again?
Max profit of a diagonal. They're hard to determine.
Yeah, it's all because it's time based.
It's
The max.
theoretical. Yeah.
That'd have to be if you didn't touch it.
So
Yeah, if you didn't touch it, it would be whatever the strike is at after the one you sell expires worthless. But I typically don't like to wait for it to expire worthless.
Yeah.
If I sold it for $1.50 and it goes down to 30 cents, I'll close it out. You want to sell. You want to close out the side that you sold when you've collected at least 50, 60%. And you want to sell when it goes down because the value will be less when it's on a downtrend.
best
And
case
then
scenario. Sorry, go ahead.
when it's up is when you want to buy it back while it's shooting up. So the long-term one goes up. And you want to sell again when you feel like it's topping out.
The best case scenario is to lose short term because you're technically losing on the position, but you're collecting money. So what me and Caesar did, this was like, what, 2 months ago at this point, on Neo. When Neo started going sideways, we did diagonals, and we were down like 50% on our buy side. But we already collected premium like 6 times. Like we were rolling that thing every week, and we collected premium like 5 or 6 times. So we got to keep all of that money, and then Neo exploded anyway, so we still made money on our buy side. So we collected premium 6 different times, and then still made back our money on our buy side. That's best case scenario.
Collected it by buying it back.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Or you could let it expire worthless. We bought them back. I typically close mine around like 70 to 80% because the last 20% you're not going to get until like really close to expiration, and then they're not worth holding at that point.
Okay, so this is a pretty fluid position. You don't really just set it.
No,
and
you don't
forget
set it
it.
and
That
forget it. No,
baby's-
no, you keep touching it. Yep.
It likes to be touched.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
You
what
got to
she
play
said.
with it.
Put the lotion on the skin with that position.
You got to play with it. It's like the bulldog with the wiener. You got to play with it.
The red dog bulldog.
Dude,
Yeah.
Spy is getting
Or red
obliterated.
rocket.
Those lockdowns, dude. He doesn't like it.
That's a red rocket bulldog.
Exactly. So like the one that we just took on Snapchat, we're down on our sell side 20% already. Is Snapchat rocketing? Why are we up so much?
Yeah, it went up like 50 cents.
Yeah, so there's many ways to make money with a diagonal. That's why it's so good. So like right now Snapchat's going up, so it's hurting our sell side, but our buy side is making more money. Think of a diagonal as just being paid to hold a long-term position. Look at Pinterest today. Pinterest is on fire. I think we see $70 on Pinterest probably by next week.
I like that.
Sorry, Wilson. I don't know if you're still in here. I missed your message. Out of Boeing and Fossil, what's your downside targets on J Maya? Let's see. Downside targets. This thing's rocketing. I don't know if I'd short this thing. You are coming into a daily pivot, so if you fail that pivot, then you could probably short it down to like 19. Oh, sorry. Downside for Boeing and Fossil, upside for J Maya. Upside on J Maya would be the pivot. So it's basically where it is now, like 21. And then probably just all-time high, 24. 21, 24. Downside for Boeing. Boeing got fucking obliterated. I think Boeing's gonna pull back to 190. I think 190 or 200. 200 would be very easy, but 190 is what I'd be looking at. Kind of a start of the gap fill. I could see you filling this gap. You're not going to fill this gap, I don't think. You could fill the 186 gap. Downside on fossil. Probably the 4-hour pivot, 940. I don't know if I'd short this one though either. This one looks really good. Maybe around 940, 950.
Johnny, didn't you say your pops was like real big into JMIA?
He had like 50 or so racks, but he sold it at the 15.99. And he averaged in like on the first rip at like 13, so it came out to be nothing.
Bear divs are stacking up on Tesla. 15-minute bear div, 5-minute bear div. The neckbeards are going to start running for the hills.
They're sweating their Mountain Dew out right now.
Yeah. If you guys took that overnight hold on Tesla at 510s, 515s, you're looking pretty good. I would still hold those overnight. The theta on those is almost $200, so you're going to get ripped in half if Tesla doesn't gap up or start climbing right in the morning. The 510s are at $700. We called them out at 500, so you'll be break even based on theta. You need to make so the delta's 32, so you need at least 10 points. Probably like 8 points to be exact. 7 to 8 points, and you'll be profitable tomorrow. If you took the 515s, basically the same thing. You need about 10 points.
Deja, do you have any videos on diagonals?
I do. Let me grab it.
No, you don't have to grab it. I was gonna watch them this evening. I'm still at work.
Yeah, if you go to the mentorship section in the Discord all the way at the top, I released a... See which one it is. This one right here. I posted it in chat for anybody. If you guys want to watch that. That's not just going over diagonals, it's going over basically everything. Verticals, calendars, credit spreads, diagonals, iron condors. And then for you guys that like selling premium, highly recommend watching this video. That's our income strategy. It hasn't been working too well recently because of the volatility in the market. But basically from like September to the start of November, it was doing very good. And then the Black Swan event started murdering it. Buy is not looking good. ES is back below the all-time high.
Yeah, it's waterfalling right now. It's
Yep.
literally straight down.
My bear calls are coming back. Their POP is now 60%. So we have a higher chance of making money on those than losing now.
Bulldog has been invalidated.
Yeah, Bulldog's dead. Below 3,600, the Bulldog died. And you can see today, where did we start nuking? Right after it lost the anchored VWAP. As soon as it lost the anchored VWAP, it was fucking donezo. This should not be a fake out either, because the last time we touched the 3587 level, it rocketed. And then it touched it again, rocketed again. Now we're ripping through it. This should not be a fake out. And then also look at the 50-minute. Lower high, lower high, lower high. All the way down.
Good time for SPY put.
I'm holding my my bear calls, but yeah, 360 to 362. I've been saying for what, over a week now, that anything that bounces into that range and doesn't claim that area is a trap. So this is the trap that I was talking about. What was the high of the trap? 364? 360, yeah, 363, and then it nuked. SPY filled the gap, and now you have plenty of room to go lower. Other thing that I said, what did I say this morning? Showed you guys this volume profile. You've been completely balanced for the entire week. 100% balanced. This is textbook balance. You could put this in a fucking textbook. Take a picture of it and put it in the book. And you just broke the value area low. So these are not moves that you want to fade. When you're breaking out of a big balance, you don't fade these moves. Meaning you don't try to counter trade this. This trend is most likely going to stay. Three lower highs into a level break. Looking pretty bad. Our 357s are looking pretty good.
I just bought it at the money SPY put for 2 days from now.
Yeah, I think a better entry will probably come on a bounce, but I think if you're not worried about the short-term bounces and you're looking more until Friday, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I was going to hold it kind of as a hedge too.
Yeah, hedging here would not be, I mean, you should have hedged a while ago, but hedging here wouldn't be awful. That little bear flag that we just had was pretty bad.
Yeah, I gotta pick up a hedge right now too. I got too many open long positions.
Yeah, I've got a lot of shares, but thankfully all the stocks that I'm in are stable. Teladoc's doing really well. Teladoc kind of is a hedge in itself. Interest is doing well. Snapchat looks pretty good. That looks pretty good.
I love Teladoc long term.
Yeah, the same here, man. I'm gonna size into this. I think worst case scenario, it could nuke down to 160, but I'd be a buyer at 160.
Yeah, I mean it really kind of is the future. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, I think COVID, like if you got into this pre-corona, you're fucking rolling in money. But I think COVID really showed their use case, and it showed people that they can be very profitable. I think their fundamentals are pretty good too. Let me check Koifin.
Yeah, and they're using it even for like, you know, the normal call your doctor and get a prescription, you know.
Yeah.
It's really popular.
Yeah, the average analyst target is 246. 35% upside. Their income statement looks really good. Their operating income's a little low. Yeah, their income's pretty low. EPS is pretty low. Their balance sheet's pretty green. Yeah, green across the board pretty much.
I'll probably pick
What do we
up
think
some
about the AMD trade?
AMD, let me take a look.
Because it lost that 83 level.
Yeah, you're kind of topping out. It looks
Did it
like.
lose the pivot?
No, you're bouncing off it right now. As long as you hold that pivot, you're okay, but it looks like it's threatening to gap below it. Good gap below it. Yeah, so that SPY butterfly that we took is dead in the water. We're going to let that expire worthless. And then the lottos that we took this morning on SPY are dead in the water as well. So those will all expire worthless. As long as we can maintain higher than a 33% win rate on our butterflies, they are paying for themselves. And currently we have about a 50% win rate on those. So this is what you did not want to see on Starbucks. I said it could hit 100 as long as the market didn't correct. It hit 99.33 and the market's correcting. So I'd probably take profit on Starbucks if you guys are in that. Same thing with DraftKings. I said it could hit 50 without a correction. It hit 49, and now we're seeing a correction. So same thing on that. I'd probably take profit. Damn, that OP&T that I tried to get filled on yesterday, it's already almost at $8.
What was it at yesterday?
$7.50. I tried to put my order in it. No, it was at $7.60. I put my order in at $7.50 because I'm a scumbag. And now it's at almost $8. You're looking at a 355 SPY put for this Friday. I think that's a little low. But if you're not going for like it being in the money, I think you're okay. If you're just going for the in and out. If you're going for it being in the money, that's a little low. That's more of a lotto. That would be like a hedge. If you're looking for like a trade, like a solid trade, you would take pretty much at the money. But you're a little late to the party, you know what I mean? Like you gotta wait for a bounce or something. You typically don't want to sell, or sorry, you don't want to buy naked after big impulse moves like this because the premium's jacked up.
I'm getting a lot of lockdown news coming across my phone. What if it's going to spook people?
Yeah, lockdowns coming out in New York, Illinois, even Virginia, I think, are doing like little things as well.
A lot of restaurants about to go out of business. So fucked up.
I hear you, man. Ridiculous. How's that Snapchat trade? Yeah, it's break even. So my plan was spot on. My execution was a little rough. I was supposed to wait until like 362, 360 to start buying my puts or selling my calls. I got a little impatient and we did it a little too early. But the plan is still the same. I think it's still a trap. I think you're going to fall down at least another 3 points or so by Friday. So probably about 355, 356 would be the easy target. That's if the there's no good news that comes out. $355, like CB was saying, he's talking about the 355 puts. Those wouldn't be a bad bet, but it's more of a lotto because it's right at the end of the expected move. So that wouldn't be like a solid trade. Like a solid trade is more kind of 50 delta, 40 delta towards at the money. The 30 deltas are a little bit riskier because basically a 30 delta, you have no opportunity to make money if it goes against you. Like if it bounces just a little bit and consolidates, that 30 delta trade's dead in the water. But like a 40 or 50 delta, you have opportunity to still make money if it goes sideways or kind of bounces a little bit.
Wouldn't like 357 or so be a good area for a butterfly to the downside?
355 would probably be better because it would be a trap. You want to trap it below. You wouldn't take it at the money. If you wanted to do like a fly trap, like the way that me and Caesar use them, you would go in the direction of your bias, and then you would take it a little further away. So it'd be like 355. So let me see. It would be a long put diagonal.
But
You'd be selling the 355s, probably buying.
355.
Yeah.
Didn't you say 355s was at the end of the move when you want to kind of be playing
Yeah,
safe
but
and
so
do like
yeah, but
356 maybe?
so the butterfly center would be at the end of the move. So if it wanted to go a little bit outside that move, you would be okay. And then if it wanted to go a little bit inside that move, you would be okay. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
But
you
do
would,
it tomorrow, right? Not today.
yeah, you would do it for Friday. And you would sell the 355s, buy the 353s, and then buy the 357s. That gives you a 2-point wide wiggle room. And 355 is right at the end of the move. Technically 354 is. So you could go to 354, but that's a little low. They're pretty cheap right now. They're
tomorrow, depending on how things look.
they're $20. So they're definitely cheap.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're $20 right now. That's actually not a bad trade. I'll post a screenshot if you guys want to take that lotto. I'm not going to because I'm already very bear heavy.
355 in the middle, right?
Yeah, here you go. 355 in the center, 353, 357 on the wings. That would be a bearish fly trap.
I like it.
$20 to make 180 max. Realistically, make probably 100. Holy fuck, boys. We're about to be out of the money on our bear calls that we just kept adding on to because we're crazy. I didn't add on again. We could have added on around 363. We would have made a killing. We have a 66 delta now. Or sorry, a 66 POP. We're only down $10 a contract at this point. Yeah, I'd be very careful trying to fade this move tomorrow. You have completely lost your balance. The anchored VWAP from the breakout point has been lost. The anchored VWAP from the all-time high has just been lost. You've lost every anchored VWAP so far.
Everything is going red.
The anchored VWAP from the all-time high is currently at 357.82. Yeah, it's melting. Oh, it killed everything. Yeah, it's killing Pinterest and everything too.
What the hell is going on?
Lockdown news. Holy shit, I didn't see what CVS did. CVS completely retraced a gap down. That's an abandoned baby for you. Or no, abandoned babies are bullish. What's that called? Is that just an evening star? Yeah, the market's killing everything. We're gonna get a chance to add on to all of our shares if it keeps nuking tomorrow. Oh shit, I need to add money. Fucking running out of money to add on to my shares.
Well, that put butterfly, they want $1.73 for it right now, unless I did it wrong.
No, you're not selling two. You gotta sell two. Buy one, sell two, buy one. And that was for Friday. You might have been doing it for today. Yeah, it's still at $22. 21% POP. The POP that you want to pay attention to with butterflies is the P50. Probability that you'll receive 50% profit. Because they're typically a lot higher. The probability of max profit, the actual POP that it gives you, that is based on your max profit. So the odds of you getting max profit on a butterfly are extremely low. Because you have to be exactly right on your sell side. But your probability of making 50% profit is really high because it just has to be in your range. This is really going to do this to me. It's gonna close just above my 357s. So it keeps them in the money. It needs to nuke like 30 more cents. How's Facebook looking? I'm guessing all tech is bleeding.
Okay, I just figured out what happened. I only sold one.
Yeah.
The 355.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. We had somebody in Discord do that on his first day joining. We took a butterfly and he did that, and it actually worked out. He made a lot more than we did because it puts you in a much more bullish or bearish position.
Well, I had it set at 2, but then when I tried to buy the 2 wings, it reset it back to 1
Yeah.
somehow.
What that does is you're selling naked for the most part. Or no, sorry, you're buying naked. It's not a proper spread. You're just buying naked.
What a crazy freaking drop the last 30 minutes.
Is your how's your Iron Condor thing doing?
I lost it. I lost $200 a contract.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough, dude. Fucking came out of nowhere.
I was just waiting 30 more minutes
It's
because
the news, man. It got you.
and you can't predict that shit. That's the
Nope.
thing.
Nothing you can do about it.
I was up around $400 a contract and went from being up $400 a contract to now I lost $200 a contract. That's freaking crazy. I can swing that quickly, you know?
And the biggest downside to my trading all year is news. If news didn't exist, I'd have a lot more money. Because I never get the news that like helps my trades. I always get it when it hurts my trades. Beautiful. All right, we were talking about Zoom. How's Zoom doing? Zoom's actually not reacting too much. I think Zoom still looks really good above that pivot on the 4 hour. 376. I can't believe I'm out of the money on these. And there's the bell.
Can you trade options on SPY after hours?
Yes. 15 minutes.
KDP, FB, AG, PEB, SLB,
Oh, sorry. Here's the
ITUB,
scanners going
plug,
ballistic.
BMY, GE, CAR.
Sorry, turn that off. You have 15 minutes after the bell to trade index options.
That's a $600 swing per contract.
Yeah, it
in
sucks,
30
dude.
minutes.
I feel your pain, man. I missed that Tesla trade by 1 day because of news. Our POP on our sell side is back to 70%. That's what it was when we took the trade. We're down less than $5 a contract. We're almost profitable on that trade now.
I only took 2 of those contracts, but because I had never done that before. But damn, that's
Yeah, I would only do that on days where like there's nothing happening. You know what I mean? Like it's a dead day. Guys, green or red on the day? Hopefully a lot of you guys are green. We called out some crazy lottos today on Tesla.
Green in my girl's account. Red as hell on my account.
Green and the one that matters. Got it.
I went from being able to buy new wheels and the M3 bumper to just having a fucking Big Mac.
I was gonna say going to get gas. Is that where you're at now? Putting gas in your car?
I don't even think I can do that after that fucking sell off.
Damn, a lot of you guys are red, so you guys didn't take those Tesla lottos, huh?
I think that sell-off got a lot of us.
Yeah, thankfully right now the biggest positions that I'm in are either already red to the point where this sell-off didn't really matter, or they're shares. My 2 biggest positions right now are gold and I think rocket. Either rocket or yeah, I think rocket. No, sorry, SPY. Those bear calls. Yeah, I agree, Agars. I think Zoom will do well if the lockdown news keeps up. How did Netflix do right at the end? Netflix has been pretty stable. Netflix is just in a massive distribution. There's no clear signal on that. Take a look at this real quick. Yeah, we're heading back down to that POC, which is around 355.60. And then we have a massive gap below that down to 353. Yeah, I'm in shares on net, Wayne. I like shares more on that because it's pretty volatile.
Hey, Deja, can I see something real fast?
Yep.
So the daily chart for Tesla, it was kind of coiling, kind of in like a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking a lot like the daily chart for Apple, except Apple hasn't broken out yet.
Yeah, Apple, exactly. And that's what we were talking about for Apple. Is this bulldog could be the breaking point. Like you have this, you have the triangle here on Apple, but you also have the bulldog inside the triangle. So it needs to hold kind of, it's like a miniature bulldog. But it needs to hold that little pullback here. But no, I agree. I think this is pretty bullish. But I think you could pull back to 115.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it like maybe taking a trade on it at like the end of the week for like maybe medium to long term.
Yeah. It could invalidate the bulldog, go all the way back down to the wedge around 110, and that could be a really good buying point. Or you could come down to like 115 and then bounce. That could be very good. Apple is a really good example of this value line daily. Bouncing right off that line.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
I can send you guys the code for that. It's really simple. You guys can. I need to just put it on the yeah, I'll do that. I'll put it on the premium account, and then I'll give you guys access. It just takes 3 moving averages and then gives you an average of all 3 of them.
The code for what? Which indicator?
Just that blue line that I've been. It looks like a moving average. It's just the average of 3 moving averages. I call it the value line because it's doing short term, mid term, and long term. It kind of gives you an average of all 3, which is what I call value. And it's been working out pretty good for buying ends or failing and stuff. I built it a long time ago. I just brought it back recently. Like here's a good example on ES. It gives you very good signals when it reclaims it. Like if it loses it and then reclaims it. Also if you lose it and like retest it, like that chart I just posted. You lost it on SPY and then retested it and then got obliterated. It's also really good for like trailing stops because it doesn't chase price very quickly because you're using a midterm and a long-term moving average. So it chases, but it doesn't chase. It's like a McGinley dynamic. It chases, but it chases slowly. Online Games says Tesla and Apple has a wedge in. They're saying has a wedge. Yeah, the Tesla wedge is already broken. Apple is still waiting on its breakout. Damn, SPY is almost down to 356 already. What a fucking day. What's the 3-hour ES cloud looking like now? Let's see. You're retesting the cloud actually bullishly. 12-hour just lost the Tinkin line. 1 hour completely bearish. 15-minute completely bearish. Daily is still hitting the 8 moving average and bouncing. But unless you reclaim the previous all-time high, which is 35.87, it's probably just going to be ugly for the next few days. So here's a good example of the line that I was just talking about. We haven't lost the 1 hour value line basically since we broke out, and we just lost it. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. Let you guys go. Pretty big day today. Had a few crazy calls on penny stocks, Tesla.
Thank you, Deja. Had a great day.
Yeah, no problem, man. Happy to help.
Later.
I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, guys.